Miami of Ohio is pouring money into their program like it's the last life raft in the sinking ship. And honestly, it's a smart play. In a chaotic world of college football, they're not just dipping their toes in, they're diving headfirst with multi-million-dollar investments too, as it sounds like, to break away from the group of five, group of six, whatever you want to call it, pack. Our 2026 roster budget is reportedly hovering in the mid to upper seven figures, which is pretty impressive, maybe even pushing $8 to $10 million, which is a massive leap from what's been reported before of only $80,000, which they were scraping together. That's the kind of cash that lets you retain talent and snag power four talent that might not be starting elsewhere. And it's all aimed at becoming the undisputed king of the group of six hill, just like North Dakota State dominated the FCS and became irresistible to conferences looking up, especially with their financials and stuff like that. Truthfully, they aren't that far away. No college football G6 program has better odds to win the national championship on FanDuel than Miami of Ohio. So when you read between the lines here, these moves scream Big Ten aspirations. They didn't come out and say it right away, but you could imply it and kind of see it reading between the lines. Their athletic director, David Saylor, isn't shy about it, talking about positioning Miami as the best group of six program across all sports and keeping an eye on whatever happens next in this crazy world of college football. Coach Chuck Martin kind of echoed that by saying if it's status quo in 2026, you're a dead man walking because you're not improving. You're not getting better. It's obvious they're gunning for something bigger, gunning for something better as a program, investing in top tier G6 coaches, holding on to players who might bolt for backup roles elsewhere. They kept 11 starters in football this offseason, including all conference lineman Eric Smith, and their portal class ranked first in the MAC with four former four-star prospects, recruits now joining the roster. Now, don't get me wrong, their on-field and on-court push is real. In football 2025, Miami finished 7-7 overall, but went 6-2 in the MAC, making their three straight conference championship games. ESPN FPI gave them a preseason shot at the MAC title of around 25%, which they nearly cashed in despite the ups and downs and losing in the MAC championship game. It's creating more TV viewership. Their games have averaged over 100,000 views per mediums tracking. It's low compared to Power 4 giants, but that's the point. They're building buzz and they're building and showing we can continue to get better, just like how the basketball program went 31-0 to start this season. It's got everybody talking. And this reminds me of the last time we saw a program that kind of hustled their way up to the top. Cincinnati in the early 2020s, the Bearcats dominated the AAC, invested heavily in NIL and facilities, and parlayed that into a Big 12 invite in 2023. It wasn't just wins, it was proving they could add value, new market, competitive fire, all that good stuff, revenue potential, everything you need to be able to move up. Miami's doing something similar to that with donors matching funding for all 105 scholarships, $242 million basketball arena being approved. Their football facilities are fresh, and the Snoop Bowl exposure generated nearly $700 million in earned media value. Their university VP, Rachel Beach, says admissions interest spiked thanks to athletic success, and they're continuing to get on that road. They're not just winning games, they're boosting the whole institution. But here's where it gets tricky, and I'll be blunt about this because you're probably like, JR, you're entertaining this too much. Because I am a little bit. Joining the Big Ten is extremely unlikely in the current setup. The Big Ten holds all the cards. We're the richest conference, on track to surpass the $1 billion barrier. The SEC hit first just because they basically filed their taxes first. Congratulations. You hit it first because you filed your taxes before everybody else and you tried to flex on it, whatever. But we'll catch up on that soon enough. Expansion talks aren't about plucky up and comers. They're about super leagues breaking away from the NCAA. With Ted Carter's sudden departure from Ohio State's presidency and amid the scandal, I believe that there may have been somebody already named, or there's a rumor of somebody being named right now. You can look that up. But I believe the doors are cracking open more at the moment than they were before. Ohio State, they were one that was kind of trying to hold some people back from the expansion because of Ted Carter. But now the rumors are that the Big Ten is eyeing Wales with national brand value and TV inventory, not a MAC school sharing Ohio's market with the Buckeyes. In short, additions must dominate their slots and boost per school payouts, which is already 80 to $100 million. Miami doesn't move the needle for that to happen. If anything, they would just lessen that amount because they'd be adding another mouth to the mouth to the table that needs to be fed. Think about it. Ohio State overshadows everything in the state, and Miami lacks Indiana's alumni base, historical cloud, anything like that. As some of the other Big Ten schools, their comparisons to Indiana's rise or North Dakota State's jump fall flat because Big Ten invites are about revenue, not just about on-field or on-court magic. Indiana turned heads with investment and success, but they were already in the club. For Group of 5 or Group of 6 teams, beating Power 4 squads is key to not getting left behind. Excuse me. And Miami's shown flashes, upsetting a few in bowl games and things like that. But the Big Ten needs teams that elevate the whole pie, supporting their titans, supporting their best programs like Michigan, USC, Ohio State, and growing the rest of everybody else as well. If anything, the ACC or the Big 12 might be Miami's best path. Less saturated market, more room for growth, or if college football goes the European soccer route with relegation, they could get their golden ticket that way. You can imagine the Big 10 and the SEC as kind of the Premier League, the Big 12 and the ACC as the Championship League, G6, a grade below that, FCS kind of the grade below that. It'll require everyone ditching the NCAA or sticking together, but the NCAA is on life support, lawsuits, NIL chaos, unless the government steps in. And let's be real, it's a long shot for that to happen anyway. Doesn't look good. It's messy, but possible, I guess. We'll talk more about the NCAA in the final segment here. Bottom line, Miami's doing everything right, everything you can. Establishing dominance in the Group of 6 could make them desirable when the dust settles, but right now it's just not the market for what they're doing. They're doing everything they can, but it's just not the market for what they're doing. They're not Big Ten caliber. We've got the power, the Big Ten's got the money, they've got the brands. Still, college football and college basketball is a whirlwind. Who knows what things will look like in 5 years? If they keep this up, they might sneak into the conversation. I don't want to ever say, never in college athletics the way they are right now, but a little speculation. If the Super League forms and needs, fillers for a low tier or something like that, some plucky underdogs or, like I said, relegation, whatever it might be, it could possibly happen there. So we'll see. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more unfiltered Big Ten takes. If you're catching on to the podcast, drop a 5-star rating or review. Let's keep the conversation going. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Miami and their push to try and grow out of the Group of 6 and find their way into the Power 4, hopefully the Power 2 for them, but trying to find their way in.